Well, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, put your hand up if you've never heard me talk face-to-face. You've never heard me talk face-to-face? Awesome. Very nice to meet you. Put your hand up if you've seen me on YouTube. Put your hand up if you saw on YouTube that video of me dressed up as the pilot and greeting the passengers as they get on the plane. You saw that? That was awesome, man. I tell you, some people freaked out. I said how I was actually dressed up and with the hat and a suit, and as people were walking down the jetway onto the plane, they see me standing in front of the door, and I greet them all. And they're like, what? And I say, good morning, my name is Captain Nick Vujicic, welcome aboard. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, we got some new Tesla technology. I didn't use Tesla, but I was like so curious to know how many people would know that I'm joking straight away or would take me for real. So all the teenagers, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to put it on Instagram. And then all the parents are like, did you know about this? No, I didn't know about this. Well, you sure you didn't get an email or something? Like, this is like kind of scary. So people are like talking and stuff. They're not sure if I'm like playing or if I'm real. And then I simply walk on the plane once everyone's boarded, and you look down the aisle and all the heads are like this. And I got the microphone and I said, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for boarding so fast. And they're like, oh my gosh. Some people came to Jesus right there and then. It was awesome. My name is Nick Vujicic, born and raised in Australia. My parents were refugees out of communism, Yugoslavia. They were very poor, and they taught me some fundamental values and principles about life and entrepreneurship. And at age 36, I'm so thankful that we understand that no one has any perfect parents. Does anyone have any perfect parents? No. Did some of our parents do some good things? Yes. And could we take those good things and try to do even better? And can we take some of those things that were not really so good and try make a difference for our children? Great. The cool thing about this is that people lose their appetite for higher goals because they actually conclude that they're not going to be better than anyone else. And deep down in an entrepreneurial spirit, so many people say, well, I want to start a company and be as successful as Steve Jobs. A friend of mine, Max Roper, and two of his high school buddies actually started an app called Appetize. It's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He's younger than me. And I asked him to speak at one of my entrepreneurial events at Attitude is Altitude last year. And what he said was this. He said, why is it that people say, I want to be like Steve Jobs? And why don't they actually say, I want to be even more successful than Steve Jobs? Because what we got to understand is that we got to be hungry. Because if you don't have the appetite, then no one can do what you need to do to have you be successful. Does that make sense? I'm going to give you some 7 principles that have changed my life, but I always open up with a couple funny stories. And I don't know who this room is. Put your hand up if you own a small business. Okay, put your hand up if you do not own a small business, but you want to own a small business. Okay, put your hand up if you want to become a speaker. Okay, cool. And put your hand up if you have children under the age of 20. Okay, great. So I just want you to know that I am so thankful that I am going to try give you the reverse engineering, real, factual, no fluff, no sugarcoat. I'm not here today to pressure you to buy my product. I'll tell you about my product. You don't want it? Cool, I don't care. It's only $60. And you know what? Les is the first person in America to allow me to even talk about my product on their stage. And Les and I, we have a friendship because I love this acronym, PLU. Ready? People like us. Think of that. People like us. It's people who understand the principles of life, who together have a bigger vision to make a difference in the world. Put your hand up if you really believe that Les Brown wants to make a difference in the world. Put your hand up if you believe Les Brown already made a difference in this room. And lastly, put your hand up if you know that if the goal of Les's life was to make a difference in the world, he ain't going to change the world till he changes a city, and he ain't going to change a city till he changes a room of the hearts and minds of people in a convention center. Are you with me? Do you see this table? My two questions to you is, in your life journey, who are you and what do you want? Because I tell you, man, I speak to a lot of kids and 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10, 11, 12-year-olds, and I have actually some children of my own, and I want to show you a family photo first, and this is beautiful. This is my wife. Everyone say dreams come true. Okay? I really wanted to get married. All right? Badly. And I realized when I was a young adult, though, that when you talk to married people, just because you get married, it doesn't mean you're happy. Can you hear an amen? And so it's interesting in these two questions, who are you and what do you want? For me, I needed to know the truth of my existence, purpose, my value, and the future that I could have. I was born without arms and legs. No one knows why I was born this way. Children come up to me and say, "What happened?" I say, "Cigarettes." No one knows why I was born this way. Not even Lady Gaga knows why I was born this way. And when I was a kid, I went into depression at age 8 because I convinced myself, everyone say convince myself. I convinced myself that my dream would never come true. And even if I did get married in my journey of life, I don't know what's ahead, but I take what I know today and I take a step today, and my actions will show me what will probably, most likely, at least have a chance of happening. The fact that I found my wife, I had to have my eyes open. As you can see, my eyes were very open. And she is very beautiful on the inside, even more beautiful on the inside than the out. She is 10 times more patient, kind, forgiving, caring, and slow to judge. And she is the most incredible mother I could ever ask to be my wife. Kiyoshi on the left, 6 years old in a couple weeks. Dayan on the right, 3 years old. And then Olivia and Ellie, and this is another photo of our girls. They just turned 1. Olivia and Ellie. I told my wife, "Babe, I can't do more than 2 children, please. I'm just handful, man." And she said, "No, we're not done yet." And I said, "Okay." I said, "So how many do you want?" She says, "It depends." I say, "What does that mean, honey?" She says, "If the third one is a boy, 3 brothers, cool. If the third one's a girl, I can't imagine my life without a sister. She gonna need a sister." And I said, "Oh boy." So I was hoping for a boy, but in the end, can you imagine? 1 in 300 pregnancies, the embryo splits, and you get 2. When we met each other in Dallas, Texas, it was love at first sight. She looked at me, I looked at her, I couldn't feel my legs. And when I concluded that I would never get married, I really also convinced myself, everyone say convince myself. Okay? I convinced myself that even if I got married, won't even be a good enough husband because I need help. I need a caregiver. I'm not even going to get a job. She's going to have to get a job or be my nurse. I never thought I'd be independent. And I thought even if all that happened, and even if we did have kids, two things: I can't hold her hand, and I can't hold my kids when they're crying. Today, I realize you don't need hands to hold her heart. And when my kids cry, I love them in a way that when they cry, they come and hug me. If you get this next phrase, your life will change forever. I'll actually give you two. The most happy people are the ones who take time to count their blessings. I'll say it again. The most happiest people on earth are the ones who take time to count their what? Blessings. Okay. We'll get to the second one later, but I just want to stop on that. As a speaker, I've met a ton of people. I've actually done 3,500 speeches in over 8 million people face to face. We broke my record of an audience crowd of 800,000 people face to face. 17th of September 2017 in Europe. With 52.7 million people watching me live in 26 countries without commercial breaks and in 20 languages. And we paid how much for that? 0. I love this second phrase. We learned it from our partner, Charter Schools USA, for our altitude education in school curriculums that we've developed together. We're going to be in 80 schools in America by August. And John Hage says, do good and do well. Do good and do well. And today, in those two questions, who are you and what do you want? We sometimes get so caught up about who we think we should be, and we beat ourselves up, and we never become our own friend, and we remain as our enemy. We convince ourselves that we compare everyone else's success to your success, and you convince yourself you'll never be happy nor be successful. So if Thanksgiving, actually, if I'm telling you the truth, meeting personally 400,000 people, I hugged 400,000 people in my life, my arms fell off, and I'm a hugging machine, so if you hug me, okay, just don't pick me up and run. Okay? But I've met billionaires, and I've actually met more joyous, fulfilled, and peace-filled orphans than billionaires. I would rather be a father who has sons cleaning the toilets at a high school than for my children to get caught up in the security of what the world puts their security and value in. Let me tell you, I will give you the keys to how I became successful. But let me just tell you, first you got to be thankful, and money will never make you happy. Money, drugs, sex, alcohol, pornography, fame, and fortune. If you put your happiness in temporary things, your happiness will be temporary. I want you now to write down, number 1, be thankful. I don't want to just make you feel good. I want to get real with you so quickly that we have you intake in the next 37 minutes that you're going to walk away with these notes And you're always going to remember these principles that actually transformed my thinking. Now, I'm not a person to say that all you need is positivity. You know those people? Just be positive. Come to my seminar and then you can be positive. I feel like headbutting them in the face. Why? Because you know that when your dad has cancer, you can't be positive. Very limiting. You can't change some things of even how you think sometimes. So I'm not that person to say just be positive, okay? But here's an exercise. Everyone take a deep breath in and out. You got 10 seconds to breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Who haven't you hugged? Who haven't you called? Who haven't you forgiven? When was the last time you took your wife out on a date, bought her flowers, massaged her stinky feet? When was the last time you had a conversation with your teenagers or younger children that had nothing to do with school, homework, career, clean up your room, get off technology? Have you ever taken them to a homeless shelter to show them homeless people and actually show them what generosity is? Or is it just a Christmas tradition that you actually write a check? Oh, I'm going to send my son and daughter to a missions camp. And you go with them. You get that dirt under your fingers. It will change your life if you could just actually give them something more attractive to talk about. Talk to them about human trafficking. Do you know much about human trafficking? Orphans, 2 billion people in the world who only hold one handful of rice. Have you met someone human trafficked? I've met 650 of them sold by their mother for $700 at age 10. What do you tell them about hope? Well, I'm a Christian and I go to church. I don't care. How many people have you actually shared that love with? Actions speak louder than words. You want your son to be generous? Show him generous. You want your son to know how to respect women? Then show what that actually means. And when you feel disrespected and you actually humble yourself to say, we need a psychologist. What a great lesson to show your 12-year-old son that their marriage is so important that we are going to give it every single try we can to make this relationship work. I'm not condemning anybody. I'm just saying, don't be afraid to be yourself around your children and don't expect them to be someone you're not. In America, 18% of Americans, I know the owner of a bank in Chicago, you know what I just found out? 18% of Americans went deliberately into credit card debt to actually buy everyone Christmas presents. They will be in debt until March 1. Wow! When I was a kid and I went to the store, okay? First of all, being thankful, turn to the person next to you and give them a hug. Go. When I went to the store, what does the child say? Mommy, I want that! Daddy, I want that! No! Ah! You know what happened when we did that? Boom! You cry more, again, boom. Guess what? We never did it again. I'm not telling you to smack your kids. That'll soon enough be against the law in America. But I will tell you something. When I wanted something, do you know what they said? No. Well, why not? Because it's my money. What do you mean? I go to work. Yeah. I'm your child. Yeah, good. Where's your money? Do you pay for the electricity? No. Did you pay for the TV? No. Do you pay for your food? No. Do you pay for your clothes? No. So, do you want to start doing that? No. Okay, good. So then if you want something more, every year we'll give you a $30 gift for your birthday. That was all my parents gave me, ever. Okay? No Christmas tree in our home. I was 19 by the time we had a mini Christmas tree. Still, they didn't believe in giving presents. And you know what? It was awesome. Because when you are hungry, if I give my kid everything he wants, how will he be thankful? If I make his life so easy, then guess what's going to happen when he goes to college and he figures out, oh, this is hard. An 8-year-old, you ask him, hey guys, have you ever been stressed? And they're like, uh-huh. And I said, well, what's stressing you out? And they said, oh, my homework is so hard, and my parents, they don't give me everything I want. And my brother and my sister, they annoy me every single day. I'm so stressed. We laugh at that, right? You're like, oh, poor kid. 13 years old, they're stressed. Oh, everything around me is changing. I don't even know who I am anymore. My parents, they freak me out. They still come into my room. They didn't give me any privacy. I'm so stressed out right now. I need a boyfriend. If only I could be 17, then everything's going to be happy. Then everything's going to be okay. Guess what happens when they're 17? They've got to get into college. If I don't get into the right college, then that's the end of my world. They finally get into college, and is everything okay? No, what do they now need? Money. Okay, now if I just get a job, then everything's going to be okay. You get your job, and after 2 days, you hate your boss. And he stresses you out. Welcome to the world. I want to get married. Honey, if you ain't happy single, you ain't going to be happy married. Let me tell you why. Not because marriage sucks. Because some of us put a security and affirmation attached to something other than ourselves, depending on another human being who will never be perfect. And neither will you. When you know the truth of your existence and purpose, and then the value of who you are, and you know your future's goal, and you're hungry, that's when you become unstoppable. Now, does that mean every dream's going to come true? No. There was a firefighter, not a firefighter. There was a kid who had a disease that made him grow. He's going to be stopping growth at 7'2". He always wanted to be a fighter pilot. He's too tall. And he said, that's it. I'm going to give up. Again, I'm going to give you the principles to success, but I'm also going to tell you this. If you have to let your dream die, don't let that kill you. I told him, pick up a guitar, because every time a door closes, another one, what? The glass is either half empty or half. We got to be thankful. We're alive. We have clothes. I'm breathing. This is cool, man. So point number 1, be thankful. Point number 2, what my dad taught me, redefine impossible. You don't know what's impossible till you know what's possible. Number 3, my actions will show what's probable. You see, there's possible and there's impossible. But what's probable, it depends on what you do today. Is it possible for me to walk? The doctor said I would never walk. We didn't know that it was possible until I tried. Did I walk 400 meters or 400 feet in my first couple minutes of me walking? No, I fell down. I failed. Does anyone know what failure is in life? It's not a status. It's not a conclusion. It's not a convincing to lead you to a conclusion or even a sentence of your life. You are not a failure despite what your mom or dad even said about you when you were 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Failure is your classroom. The most successful people understand that when you are hungry, as Les says, which is the theme of today, get hungry. It's because when you want something so bad, if I'm the only person in the way, then I'm going to get out of the way. So one day, I wanted something on my bookshelf, and I said, Mom, I want that. She said, no, get it yourself. And I said, that's so mean. And because I wanted it and I was hungry, I grabbed the footstool where normally people who have legs put their legs up on this mini thing to relax. I dragged that with my teeth, didn't smell the best, and brought it to the bookshelf, jumped up on that. Now, do you think I was successful the first time? What will be the determination if I give up? The determination if I give up is only because, or conclusion, that I don't want it enough. So then I tried what? Again. Thomas Edison failed 9,999 times. Thomas, how does it feel failing 9,999 times? I never failed 9,999 times. Now I know 9,999 ways in how not to make a light bulb. Yes? Failure, next point, equals education. Failure equals education. It's your classroom. If you're doing something, watch this. I'm not trying to be mean, but this is the reality because no one else is going to tell you this. If you try something and it actually happened the very first time and it was quick and easy, it's not significant. You could do stuff. But significance means it's going to take some risk. It's going to take some courage. Ready? I'm going to show you courage. Les loves this one, man. I'm going to jump off the table and I'm going to land on the stage over there to show you courage. Are you ready? No? Why not? Too bad. Boys, are you ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm joking, man. Are you serious? If I do that, I'll break my arm or something, all right? Courage, it's going to hurt. You're going to fall. But I got up on that footstool, used my head against the sharp corner of the edge of the bookshelf, got upright, got that thing in my mouth, and a light bulb went on. I have no idea what's impossible till I know what's possible, but probably depends on my actions today. And if I fail, it's my classroom. So because my parents were poor in refugee camps, they taught us to be thankful and to always remember those who don't have food. And so I put an African orphan on my mirror. I didn't know the orphan. I got a photo. I put it on my mirror. Every time I look at the mirror, guess what I see? The orphan. Guess what I'm thinking? I know that today could suck a lot, but Today is a day closer to me helping an orphan. Yes? These are not just my kids. We have 4 biological kids, but we sponsor 15 children. 1 in Uganda, 12 in Zambia, 2 in Mexico. And I want you to know that we are giving them free rides through education, medical, counsel, elements of faith. I want you to know that we were taught to make a difference. What do you do? What can you do to emanate an illustrative picture of your goal, of your dream? Put your hand up if you're under the age of 21, because I see about 11 of you. Put your hand up. Yeah, about 11. Okay. I want you to know that my girls will actually never be looking for a boyfriend. They're going to be looking for a husband. And I want you to know it's so hard under the age of 21 to try to figure out where you are and what you want. But I'll tell you this. The best thing we've ever experienced is when we give back. And I had that goal. Why did I need that? Let me tell you why. This table is my journey. I was 8 years old. I had no idea what future was in plan for me. I had no idea at age 36 I'd meet 18 presidents, go on TV to 1.7 billion people, and have governments change their laws in the education system and value for life after I speak to them. And I want you to know I had no idea that I'd ever be an author, an actor, a speaker, and ever star in a short film that won Clint Eastwood's first short film award, won 32 film festivals 10 years ago, Butterfly Circus. And I always, when I do one project, whether it's a book, a music video, whatever we do, I always wait for someone to come up to me crying and look me in the eye and say, that changed my life. When you do good and do well, your life is full because your purpose becomes bigger than how many zeros you have in your bank account. Does that make sense? So at age 8, I was here and I was depressed because I couldn't see that I'd ever be happy. Do you know that it costs a lot of money to live in California? Oh, you know that. Do you know that I'm on a 54% tax bracket? Do you know that? And do you know that I need 80 hours of help? And my wife needs 80 hours of help? You multiply those hours weekly, okay? You can't claim tax off nannies. So when your nanny is $15, guess how much money I have to actually earn to pay my nannies $15? $33. Okay, I'm actually forking out $32 per hour for someone to look after my kids. Multiply that by a mortgage in California, plus the wheelchairs and everything we need. Think of that for a second. That's why my dad said, Nick, don't expect us for your retirement. You have it way harder than everyone at school. You were never given arms and legs. Use your brain. Start going into stock market investing. Go into real estate. And I did. He said, do an accounting business, get employees, and your employees will be your hands and feet. Do you know how old I was when he said that? 6. And guess what my son's doing for fun? We're buying chicken eggs from our neighbor wholesale, selling, right? Full retail, free delivery, and it's really organic. You heard it being laid this morning. Okay? That's what we're working on. When he wants, he's got hundreds of toys, don't get me wrong, but I'll tell you this, when he wants something that's a little bit more expensive than a couple bucks, he knows, Daddy, what job can I do to get that goal? I said, good. You can start by massaging my back. And he stands on my back for 10 minutes at a time, and he relieves my chronic back aches. Can you imagine? How cool is that? It's us. Entrepreneurship is sadly not taught in schools. So if your schools aren't teaching them, then you don't teach them, then who will? They will not know. So I learned. Everyone say learned. The first book I read was by John R. Burley from Scottsdale, Arizona. It's called Money Secrets of the Rich. Then I read a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. Then I read, thirdly, The Prayer of Jabez. Then the fourth, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm just telling you the books that helped me as a teenager. So I read those books, and you know what I was able to do by age 19? I had my first work experience at age 17 at a hospital, being the call center for their IT troubles. I worked for 12 days over Christmas and New Year's, and I decided I don't ever want this for my life. 8 to 5, no thank you very much. So we went into options trading, stock market trading. In fact, when I went to college, you want easy money? Yeah? I worked out on the stock market. There was a Dunlop Tires company in Australia, and it was always between 72 cents and 74. It would open at 73, it would go down within an hour down to 72, and by 2 p.m. it would go to 74 cents, and then it would close off at 73. I bought at 72, sold at 74 without having to be at the computer except for 5 minutes every morning. And that actually made me money for 3 months straight. And I actually made $160 a day with 5 minutes of my time. Does that make sense? I bought my first real estate investment property, and I'm just so thankful that I bought right and at the right time. And when I bought that property, not when I made profit. Everyone say that. Not when I made profit. But when I actually got the acquisition and I acquired it, I had $28,000 left cash. And I took that cash as a 19-year-old, and I went to Africa, and we gave away $28,000 worth to orphans. And it was the best year of my life. You know, they say if you want a friend, be a friend. I want you to know we all can make a difference in the world. And now I want to help you now with your goal, now that we talked about goals and the value and you making sure that you don't put security in all that. There's just 2 more stories, and I'm going to give you all these principles and sum it up and then share with you how I became a speaker. Cool? Yes. All right, are you ready? Yes. Are you excited? Yes. Do you know who the person was who actually told me for the first time I'm going to be a speaker? It wasn't my mom, it wasn't my dad, it wasn't a close friend, it was the janitor at my high school. And he knew in his job description that he was not required to inspire the limbless 17-year-old guy who just became a prefect in the student government body. And he came and he said to me, "You're going to be a speaker." And I looked at him and I was making sure that he was actually looking at me because I have no idea what he's saying. He said, "Hello?" I said, "Yes." "Arnold, hi." "Nick, you're going to be a speaker." "I have no idea, sorry, what you're talking about. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Arnold. Bye-bye." Next day, "Nick." "Yes." "Be a speaker." I said, "No." Does anyone know anything about speaking? Right? The greatest fear in the world is public speaking. And the second one is death. So people would rather die physically than have stage fright. Do you understand? And he said to me, "I will arrange." Can I ask photographers to actually no more moving, please? Because we've only got 16 minutes left and I need everyone's attention for the next 15 minutes, please. Thank you so much. What I want you to know is this. He said, "I will arrange your first speaking engagement with 6 people." And I said, "No, thank you very much." I said, "What am I going to speak about?" He said, "Your story." And I said, "I don't have a story." He says, "Yes, you do." I said, "No, I don't." And I walked away. Next day, he looked at me. I looked at him. I started walking away. He started running after me. And I'm like, man, this guy ain't going to give up. So he twisted my arm, and I said yes. And in front of 6 students, I spoke, and I was nervous. My palms were sweating. My knees were shaking. And all of a sudden, a girl says, and I'm like, she's crying. She says, and I'm like, what, are you okay? She says, uh-huh. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "Nothing. I was just touched." And I'm like, who touched her? It didn't compute. It didn't compute in my mind because when I was age 8, I convinced myself I could not achieve my goals or dreams. I convinced myself because I could. I had enough evidence. But evidence is not exactly the future. Because you don't know what's around the corner till you go around the corner. You don't see the full picture. One day I was in the car and we're at the traffic lights and this girl saw me. I was in the car and she don't see the full picture. She just sees my head. You know what I do? Look at my head. I just did this. And she was confused because my head did this. She was like, fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Faith, F-A-I-T-H, full assurance in the heart. Despite what you see, despite what you feel, if you really want something, don't let someone stand in your way, but don't you stand in yours either. Well, I don't know marketing. Great, learn. I don't know how to do. Good, neither did I. But what was amazing and transforming for me was I was walking this way because of all the encouragement that my parents gave me. Then all the lies in my head said, "You're ugly, just give up. There is no hope, just give up. There is no hope, just give up. There is no hope." I attempted suicide at age 10, and all I could see were broken pieces. But my friend, you don't know what beautiful things can come from your broken pieces until you give your broken pieces a chance. My caregiver, Peter, was abandoned by his dad, sexually abused. He swore to himself he'd never be married. Not only did he get married, but when his wife and him could not have kids, they have now done, through their home, 24 foster kids and adopted 1. I can't be a foster parent of 24 kids in 4 years, but man, I'll buy them a car. And I'll give them meals. and I'll make sure that Christmas bonus is a little bit bigger. Do you understand? We all play a part. And I'm so glad that what we've gone through, watch this, when you don't get a miracle, you can still be one. I'll never forget when I was 24 years old, looking at the crowd, little boy held up, no arms, no legs, looking exactly like me. And I brought him up here and I put my foot on his foot. He looked up at me, I looked down at him, and I couldn't give him a high five. So I touched his foot, he smiled, everyone cried. His mom said, now I know there's a greater plan for my son's life. I said, when he goes to school and if he ever gets bullied, you call me and I will come in that wheelchair of mine and run them all over. No, that's not what I said, but I did go there and I spoke at that school, and after 15 minutes of love, they stopped teasing him. Do you know that there are 3 public middle schools in America who have a Nick Vujicic public holiday? Because it's the day that I spoke at that school and bullying stopped altogether. We've done 990 schools in America via simulcast. We just did 30, 48 hours ago. How cool is that? If I can be a miracle, you can be a miracle. You had an alcoholic father, now you can actually help someone else who feels like giving up because they're an alcoholic father, and you can actually be more impacting to them than me because I don't know how that feels. Does that make sense? Okay, good. It's your story, and your story ain't done yet. Good? Deep breath in and out. What number point are we on? Wait, who said 5? Okay, have we written 4? Have we written 5? 5 is obstacles are opportunities. 6 is dream big. And 7 is never give up. I did cold calls calling schools after I spoke 12 times, and a girl said, no one's ever told me that they love me, and no one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am. I mustered up courage to not win. I mustered up courage to lose, because anything significant I do is worth failing for. And failure is my classroom. Very good. Are you with me? So I called 52 schools inviting myself as a speaker, and I got responses, no joke, including the school saying, because you have no limbs, don't come to the school because you're just going to scare everyone. Including responses like, I actually don't believe you have arms and legs. Now, is that offensive? Is it my problem or theirs? Right. Did I miss out or did they miss out? Okay, so the quicker I understand that, you can move on. Do you know it's very hard to forgive someone who steals $50,000 from you? But if you can actually forgive someone and not sue someone for $50,000, when in 6 years' time, some 2 people take another $360,000, not same people, totally unrelated, it's actually 3 times as fast to forgive for $360,000 than $50,000 because it's about the principle. And the reason why I forgive and I move on is because there's so much more. Money comes and goes, but if I now get trapped up in bitterness and stuff, that's a disability that's going to hold me back than having no arms, no legs. Did I learn from my failure? Yeah, because failure is my classroom. Are you with me? Yes. When I finally got my 53rd phone call and she said yes, I wasn't ready for success. It's not about how you're going to get to a place of just being successful. You need to understand law, contracts, business, mentorship, cash flow, time management. Do you know how many unread text messages? What's your name? Derek, can you come up here on stage real quick? Just jump up here. And just read, how many unread text messages do I have?
1,353.
I have 1,300, give me a hug. I have 1,353 messages between two already non-profits existed. Thank you so much. I'll give you another hug later if you want. And a non-profit that we're starting. But the for-profit that we have, okay, you got to build the team. You need a mentor. You need someone to actually teach you what time management is. You can't afford mentor? Go read a book. Read some excellent books and learn in a way that you actually believe you're going to be successful. I've had more entrepreneurs, no joke, today, another friend of my entrepreneur got stuck, but it wasn't in failure, it was in success. Today, this morning, big. He wasn't ready. Get ready for success, or the last thing you need is success. Does that make sense? You got to get ready, do all that you can, and then try and put yourself out. I would not have married my wife unless I had my eyes open. Have your eyes open. Write out your business plan. Get accountability. I have that many text messages because you want to know why? I hardly text anybody, and what happens is I put everyone on a group text. These are all the conversations going on. Because I'm a CEO who refuses to pick up my phone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Period. I don't pick up my phone. I take my phone to the dining table. My wife grabs it, puts it on the highest bookshelf. Yes! When you start from the beginning, you have to do everything, but don't stay there. You were not successful because you did everything. To get to that place of success, you are going to have to work 18 hours a day. You are going to have to push it. You are going to have risk mitigation. You are going to have to put investment. You are going to take risk. You may fail. I lost all my money twice. It ain't uncommon. Who cares? If that's my purpose, if that's my goal, and I am hungry, I'm going to do it. Eventually. Everyone say eventually. And that's what I love. I was ready to fail 52 times because it was worth it if I just change one more person's life. Does that make sense? Dream big. Dream bigger. And never give up. Be wealthy. Be smart, but don't just put your security in your pride. Don't put your security in your intellect. Because the moment you think that you are not learning anymore and you've reached the top, yep. You can be powerful and humble, and it starts in your home. Then work. Who are you? I am so honored to be here. Les Brown is one of my heroes. Not because of the last 10 years of his life. Because he's a man of humility and focus and impact. And I look up to Les Brown. He wants you to understand that the only reason why he's standing up here is because he was hungry. Hunger itself is not enough, but it starts there. Then knowledge, then building your team, and there's a ton more that I could share with you, but my time is up. And if you do want more, we do have a $100 online course that you can go at your own pace in your own privacy again, Les, with not even a back end, he's cool. We're going to give you 30% off the entire online course. I created Rise Above, which is so much more knowledge that I could ever share here in 60 minutes. It's how to break down barriers and truly redefine impossible. It's actually better than any masterclass you've ever paid for. Personally, pridefully, but with humility, I think we're actually really in-depth and authentic with how we've done things. And I don't want you to leave here without a copy if you really did get something and you do want more. And I'll know you get so much out of it, but the number here on the piece of paper is to text something. If you get your phone, you can check it out because you don't have to go to the website later. We got a text thing. It's really cool. Make it really easy. And if you do it right now, you get 30% off. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not even trying to make you fluffy or feel good. But if you do want more, check it out. Text the word Nick to this number. It's 66599. 66599. And you text the word Nick. It's the entire thing. $66 is basically what you get it for today. We don't make money on the back end because we're just trying to catch up to the success. And now we're being proactive. And we just want to help people because so many people get upset and say, Nick, we want more of you. And I can't. And I just want you to know, though, we're making virtual Nicks. Yeah? And we'll eventually do a hologram when it becomes cheap. But until then, we have this. And I really know you're going to enjoy it. But I love you with all of my heart. I'm going to give you a big air hug here. I love you. Did you get anything out of this hour? Everyone stand up. Everyone repeat after me. Say, I today will rise above. Will redefine impossible. I will do my best to love myself and get out of my way. So help me God. Give each other a big high five and give each other a hug. Thank you so much. You've been so awesome. God bless you all. Yeah.
You changed my life.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
You've absolutely changed it.
Thank you.
So is Les.
Let's welcome back the legendary Les Brown!
Let's hear it for Nick. Give him a tremendous round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you got some value out of today? Very good. We are partners and we love each other. And I just have fun watching him. I cannot watch him enough. Did you get value out of the things that he shared? Yes. How many of you ready to live a larger life? How many of you ready to create the next greatest version of yourself? Very good. I want you to hold someone's hand near you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Let us get still. Father, we thank you for Nick. We thank you for his life, for his wife, for his children, for his message. And we give thanks for these dreamers standing in this room who have courage and faith and determination to be channels for you to work through, to bring out the purpose that you chose them to be here, to live full and to die empty. We give thanks for someone who's going through a challenge right now that after hearing Nick's word, rather than go through it, they are going to grow through it and be stronger on the other side. We know that your hand is on every life in this room. A new awakening is taking place. You're ordering our steps. And 2019, the year of our dream and beyond, will be the best we've ever had because we heard his voice, we witnessed his example, and we've come here to stand. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that even when we face challenges and tragedies and setbacks and failures and disappointments, it's only our classroom, as Nick said, only for us to learn. And allow us to know, count it all joy, whatever we're dealing with. As if we don't have a miracle, we can be a miracle. Oh, that resonated with me. How many of you ready to be a miracle? So we give thanks for this time that we have spent together, knowing that the rest of our life will be the best of our life. We know of ourselves we can do nothing, but with you, all things possible. Let us say together, I feel love in this room. I feel hope in this room.
I feel hope in this room.
I feel the presence of God in this room.
I feel the presence of God in this room.
I give thanks
I give thanks
that my dream is possible.
that my dream is possible.
It's already done. Stick a fork in it. So let's sing the song, please.
Dream, you gotta keep dreaming. When your problems get you down, don't you drown in reality. Oh, live, you've got to keep living. Keep your eye on a star, no matter how far it seems. Live every day of your life. Make it turn out right. Gotta keep moving on. Got to be strong. Live every day of your life. Keep your goals in sight, 'cause you're gonna make it big if you live every day. Look to the future, for it's the things you do today that shapes your tomorrow. Oh, yes, it does. And you make it happen. Yes, you do. If you give yourself a chance, I know you can't go wrong. Just live every day of your life. Make it turn out right. Gotta keep moving on. Gotta keep moving on. Got to be strong. Live every day of your life. Yeah, just remember that. Live every day of your life. Oh, live every day of your life. Keep your goals in sight, 'cause you're gonna make it big if you live every day. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Live every day.
No, thank you. How long are you in town for?
I think it takes
Live every day.
I'll talk to your CEO. I'll talk to your CEO, okay? We'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right.
I love you so
Love you,
much.
man. I'll say hi to my wife for you. Love you, man. Thank you. God bless you. Let's give it up for, what's your name? What's your name?
My name is Celeste.
Let's give it up for Celeste. Anything you want.
One last thing for those.